right, whether you're here with us live or you're watching later, go ahead and get your props together. And we're going to get started with legs up the wall tonight. So get yourself a blanket if you need a little bit of padding, and go ahead and bring one side down with your rear all the way up to the wall and your head towards the center of the room. And then you'll just roll yourself up towards the wall. You don't have to be as close as Brett just was. He's a little too close. So it kind of got him off kilter. But once you get your legs up the wall, bring your left hand to your heart. Oh, sorry, buddy. And your right hand to your belly. And start to notice your breath. If you don't have a piece of wall handy, you can put your legs up on a chair or on the couch. You can bring your legs up the side of a dresser or a bed or a desk. So get creative. It doesn't have to be so particular, so specific. So as you notice your breath here, notice, is my breath moving smoothly in some areas? Is my breath feeling like it's getting caught in some areas? Is there somewhere in my body that it's a little bit easier to let go, and somewhere in your body where it's a little more difficult to let go right now? And we're just bringing awareness to these places, to these parts of our breath. We're not here to judge the breath or judge the body. We're just here to notice. And be with the body. So we'll be here about 10 more breaths. Your toes and your feet might be a little tingly at this point. That's okay. And then take a longer than normal inhale and exhale. When you're ready, let the hands fall away. Bring the soles of the feet together, bringing the legs into Baddha Konasana or butterfly. Not pressing on this butterfly, we're just letting it be. Noticing if the knees can give us any sort of feedback. And adjusting for that, maybe straightening out the legs a little more. And then reach the arms overhead towards the center of the room and grab for opposite elbows. And let the forearms fall towards the earth. When you're ready, gently release the arms towards the center of the room again, and then either fan them out and down or straight up and over, whichever is your preference. And then straighten out the legs. So this next part, you may have to scoot away from the wall, and you'll know when we get there if that's what you need to do. But your goal here is to keep your rear on the ground the entire time that we're in this pose. So you want to bring your right ankle to your left thigh, flexing that right foot a lot, and gently begin to bend into that left knee slowly, noticing what goes on in the right knee. You might pull the toes off of the wall and do a gentle little bit of rocking side to side. But again, your rear is all the way on the earth. So it's tempting to just bring the rear up off the earth, and then that makes this easier. But then we lose that nice juicy stretch in that right hip. If you want a little bit more, you can press the right hand into the right thigh, avoiding the knee. At some point in the next 3 or 4 breaths, start to straighten the left leg and then unravel the right leg. Shake the legs out if you need to. Take a few breaths here if you need to. And then as you move to the next side, be aware that each hip is very different. We're going to have a lot tighter hip on one side than the other. So you may need to scoot towards the center of the room. Like I said, you have to scoot away from the wall if your rear is not going to stay all the way on the earth. That's really important for the integrity of this stretch in your body. We don't want the knee to feel any pain. We want that left foot flexed. We want to feel all of this in our glutes, in our thighs, in your hip. And you can even do this while seated in an office chair. So you can do this sitting up. My leg would be bent if I was sitting. And you would just bend forward a little bit. I can't quite show you because I've got baby girl in the way here. But you can do this while seated as well. So this is a great stretch to do if you're kind of stuck in an office setting. You want to do this seated. Take about 3 more breaths here, and then first start to straighten the right leg, then unravel the left. When you are ready, take a nice long inhale, and as you exhale, pull the knees into the chest and give yourself a hug. Maybe rock side to side a little bit. You might even feel comfortable in happy baby pose, or rather more comfortable than you normally would at the beginning of practice. So remember that this is gentle. This is a gentle and restorative practice. So we're not here to force anything, to make anything happen. We're not here to judge ourselves if it looks right or it doesn't look right. We're here to do the best we can and then ask questions. I always welcome questions. So give us a little comment and I'd be happy to help you out if you're lost or confused. So when you're ready, pull the knees back into center and then roll all the way to one side and press yourself up to an easy seat. Once you get up, go ahead and make your way to tabletop. So we'll take about 5 cat-cows, inhaling and dropping the belly towards the earth, lifting the heart. The head is not as important as the heart. So if I'm lifting my head all the way towards the sky, I'm doing more with my neck than anything. So be aware of that. Exhale. The back reaches towards the sky. The belly button pulls in towards the spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, curl. So 2 or 3 more of these. And be aware of if you're following the breath or if the breath is following you. We want to follow the breath. This is not a run or a sprint. This is not the elliptical. So we're following the breath. And then we'll take an inhale and come up to cow pose. So drop the belly, lift the heart. And then exhale, curl the spine all the way back to child's pose. So I have to move my knees because I have baby in the way, but you don't have to do that. We'll just leave your knees where they are. And then inhale, come up to cow. Exhale all the way back to child's pose. Inhale up to cow. 3 more times. After your 3rd time, just make your way into child's pose and pause there. And here in child's pose, we want this to be a little active. This is still the beginning of our practice, so reach through the fingertips and send the breath in through the nose, up over the forehead and down the spine, all the way to the sacrum. So the sacrum is this spot where your butt and your low back meet. We hold a lot of information back there, emotions, stuff we don't want to think about. So that's part of why our low back takes a lot of pain or gets into a lot of pain. So do that a few times, inhaling. You can even think of inhaling in through the fingertips, out long, all the way down to the sacrum. And exhaling back up the front of the body. At some point soon, inhale up to table. And exhale up to down dog. So move your hands first so that you can even make your way into plank first if you want to see where your hands should be. So he's got to move his hands a little bit more forward so that his hands are where they need to be so that his body doesn't feel like it's jutting forward. And then he's going to exhale, lift the hips towards the sky, and you leave the feet right where you are. It might look like he's adjusting his feet. He's not adjusting them forward. He's just adjusting the width. So you want the width to be about in line with your sitting bones. And they can go out towards where the hips are, but you don't want them wider than the hips. So just like if you were in plank. Hopefully you are noticing now that maybe there's some heat building in the arms and the heart and the shoulders and the belly, maybe down the back of the legs, depending on how tight you are. At this point, it's about 5 or 7 breaths in. Take in a nice long inhale through the nose and a long exhale through the nose. So in and out through the nose, but longer than normal. And then we're going to inhale forward to plank and exhale back to down dog. Let me just come down a little bit. Inhale forward to plank. Pull the low belly in and up. There you go. Exhale back to down dog. So 3 more times, just like that. If you need to come out of it and then come back to join us, you can. Again, we're not here to prove anything. We're not here to force anything. We're gently warming up the body. And then bring the knees down to the mat. Find your tabletop. So the hands are right underneath the shoulders. Bring the left hand underneath the face. Inhale the right arm out and up, opening the heart. Exhale, thread the needle. So the shoulder comes all the way to the earth. If your shoulder doesn't reach to the earth without tons of discomfort, you would put a block under your head. So just show them what that would, yeah. So you'll put a block under your head so that your shoulder can come down to the earth without overextending the shoulder or the neck. And the next time you inhale, press into the left hand, sweeping that right arm out and up again. And exhale, replace the left hand with the right. As you inhale, open the left hand out and up. And exhale, thread the needle. So one big, smooth transition is what we're looking for. And your hips should be about over your knee. So he could even, if he wanted to, scoot himself forward and give his neck and shoulders and spine some more room. He looks good now. All right, so the next time you inhale, press into that right hand, sweeping the left arm out and up, and exhale that hand back down, coming into table. And then at this point, come down onto your back. Make sure to look and make room above your head so that the arms can extend all the way out long. And then bring the knees bent, the feet on the mat. And pull the heels pretty close to the rear. But again, your feet at this point are about in line with your sitting bones. So not all the way out by your hips, but also not together. And then palms facing down next to the hips. We'll take a nice long exhale. As you inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms overhead. As you exhale, come back down. If your knees are feeling something, adjust as necessary, but continue this flow for the next 5 breaths. After your 5th round here, go ahead and bring the hips back down and cross the right leg over the left. So be sure you're not pulling the knees right in. I know sometimes that's the tendency, is you want to pull your knees in after back bends. We want to give you a little twist to release a little bit before we pull the knees in because you don't want the spine to go from this to this immediately. So after you cross the right knee over, scoot the hips to the right just a little bit so that you can let the knees fall to the left into a nice big twist. And the shoulders should be on the earth. If you struggle to bring that right shoulder down, scoot your shoulders more to the left. So towards the knees, whichever direction you're in the twist. If your shoulders are struggling, if that outside shoulder is struggling to come down, you'll scoot the shoulders towards the same direction the knees are facing. Next time you inhale, take a long inhale, and as you exhale, bring the knees back to the center. Unravel the legs. Reposition your hips so that they're more in line with the spine. And then switch sides. So the left knee on top of the right. Scoot the hips to the left. And then let the knees fall to the right. And they're just falling. We don't have to do anything or force anything. We're just allowing them to fall. Take a nice long inhale, and the next time you exhale, bring the knees back to center. Realign the hips. Unravel the legs and take a nice long good morning stretch. So the arms reach out long, the legs, even the toes are pointed, reaching way away from the body. Point those toes. There you go. And then when you're ready for a nice long exhale, pull the knees into the chest and give yourself a squeeze. Rock side to side a bit. Oh, hello. And then roll all the way to one side. Press yourself up to a seat. We are going to do some wonderful restorative poses this evening. So grab a couple of blankets. 2 should suffice. And you're going to make them into long, somewhat thin rolls. So the length isn't so as important as you just want this to only be a couple of inches thick. You could potentially use a small throw pillow of some kind if you wanted to, or 2 of those. Your other roll is going to be under your head, and it's going to be a little thicker, or you might use the exact same width. So we're coming into a battling brook pose. And you can keep it folded the way he just had it, or you can roll it up thicker. It's up to you. I often like it to be not very high for the part under my head. Your shoulders are going to be on the ground here. So you're going to bring a bolster, some stack of pillows, some way that you have a cushion, something under your knees. And then, ooh, that's way too close. And this roll is going to go under your rib cage, and your shoulders are going to come down onto the earth. Ideally, the roll is pretty high. Like he could scoot that even higher and still have his shoulders down. So what we don't want is for it to hit mid back, because it'll start to get really uncomfortable really fast. Let you roll over. Okay. Let the arms be out wide. Let the palms face up. Let yourself sink into this support. Allow your awareness to begin to come back to the room. And with it, your breath might naturally deepen. When your body and your breath let you know that you're ready for movement, gently roll to to your left side. And you're going to come all the way onto the left side, bringing the legs off of the bolster, whatever you're using, and then gently get yourself situated so that you can keep the blanket under the rib cage there. So you're still feeling a little bit of that crunch, but now it's in the side. And then inhale that right arm up towards the sky. So straight up towards the sky. And then exhale it over the forearm will go over the ear, and you're going to reach towards the wall that is above your head. And then let that hand fall all the way down towards the earth. If it doesn't naturally fall towards the earth in a way that is comfortable or that feels safe on your shoulder, bring a block into the hand or something in the hand that can support underneath. So you'll just gently hold or rest the hand on top of that object. And we won't be here as long, just 10 or so breaths here. Send a few of those breaths intentionally into that right lung. Really notice the breath expanding more into the right lung. And then sometime in the next few breaths, you'll inhale that top arm up towards the sky and exhale it towards that hip. And then at some point in the next few breaths, you decide you'll make your way onto your back and over to the other side. May take a little more adjusting, and that's okay. And then again, inhale that top arm to reach towards the sky. Exhale it over the head. So the forearm is lengthening over the ear, and the fingertips are reaching the same direction the crown of the head is pointing. At some point in the next few breaths, inhale that arm towards the sky, exhale it towards the hip, and then from here, you'll make your way up to a seat. So however that seems easiest, but my suggestion is to press into the hands and let the head be nice and relaxed and soft. The neck doesn't need to do the work of sitting you up. We do that a lot when we're sitting up out of bed or laying on a mat for a pose. We get up and we let our neck do a lot of work. So be aware of that. So from here, we'll make our way into one of the best poses that there is. We're going to move the bolster long on the mat. Sorry, I'm pregnant. I have some weird indigestion thing happening here, so that's why I keep stuttering. I'm not sorry for stuttering, though. Or for being pregnant. I'm just acknowledging the struggle that's happening, which is how we grow. All right, learn things, baby girl. Okay, so you're gonna lay back onto this bolster, and I would recommend bringing a little bit of support under the head or bringing a block under the end of the bolster where your head is going to be. Off my blanket, sir. That's fine. You can make this taller if you want to. For this practice, I would recommend just keeping it nice and easy, nice and low. You can place a blanket under the head. And then for the legs tonight, I want you to have your legs supported, but also in an open position, but not quite in butterfly. Am I being vague enough for you yet? Okay, so you're gonna get blocks or something, maybe 2 blankets. So grab a couple of blocks. And these are gonna be under your knees with a blanket on top, or you can do a couple of blankets or a really thick blanket. And you're gonna let the knees fall out wide, but also stay with the legs outstretched. So we're not coming into butterfly. We're just letting the hips and the pelvic region just kind of open a little bit gently, and let the feet fall out. And then you'll lay back and let the arms fall out wide. If you have just innumerable resources, you can also place blankets under the arms here to support you as well. So and then just sink in. If the thoughts come, we just notice I'm having a thought. We're not here to judge the thought. We're not here to change the thought. We're not here to even push the thought away. We're just here to notice and then maybe favor the breath. Begin to bring your awareness back to the breath. And at this point, you have a choice. You can stay here for the remainder before we close out, or you can move to a more traditional Shavasana. In a more traditional Shavasana, you'll come lying flat on your back, but you're also welcome to put this bolster under your knees for Shavasana as part of your semi-traditional Shavasana. So just make your decision, and when you're ready, make your way there. Take a long breath in and a long exhale. When your body and your breath let you know that it's time for movement, gently roll to one side onto an elbow and press yourself up. So not using your neck for any of this work. We are going to close out with just a little bit of pranayama. We didn't do pranayama specifically at the beginning today. So we're just going to do a little bit of balancing pranayama to close us out today. So we'll just do some square breathing. So your breath has probably naturally found a gentle pace, and that's good. So we'll just let the palms face up. And if it hasn't, that's okay. This pranayama is going to help if it hasn't found a natural pace. So we'll allow the eyes to close. Take a long exhale. And we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Continue this for 2 or 3 more rounds. After that second or third round, whatever round you're on right now, you'll take a nice long inhale and an extended exhale, and then let your breath fall into itself. Just notice what's different from when you started class to where you are now in the breath, in the body, maybe even in the spirit. And then bring the palms together. You might even feel some energy, some warmth in between them. Gently bow the head. Bring into mind at least one thing that would be on your gratitude list today. Maybe 2 or 3 more come along with it. Doesn't have to be grand. It can be your cup of tea or coffee. And then we'll take in 3 nice big breaths of gratitude, inhaling gratitude, and exhaling anything that no longer serves us. Namaste. Thank you for being with us all the way through, from those of you who are watching live and those of you who are watching the replay. Go follow us on Yoga with Caryn, and my Facebook page is Yoga with Caryn Bowles. Please follow and like that page and give us a thumbs up for this video, as well as subscribing to this channel. It helps others like you who need a class like this to find us when they need us. So we appreciate your presence, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon.